Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below on what you think is going to be the next big trend for 2022 when it comes to your hair. So we'll look at some big trends for 2022. Start beginning of the year, then we'll progress just through what do I think is going to stay. And I've got a bonus one for you that isn't on the list, but is going to be huge for 2022 when it comes to your hair. So let's get into it. The first one you can see here, there's Rihanna sporting a blunt bob. And blunt bobs are timeless. I think they've been on trend for a number of years, but it is another big trend for 2022 with the blunt bob. Just no layering, just something which is just really precise, as if a laser's cut it, just all the way around. And we're looking at that, something really holding strength in there above the sort of shoulders, so you get that sort of swinginess to it. But that's going to be the first big trend for 2022 when it comes to booking your hair appointment. Is if you've got a bob and you've been thinking I want something a little bit different, maybe ditch those layers and have a blunt bob. Next big trend you can see here is Billie Eilish, and it is short shags. So the shag has been a big hit, wolf cut, mullets, so all that 80s hair which has been coming back longer is now going shorter. So short shags, and what that is just taking it like collarbone, because we looked at the blunt bobs a minute ago. Bobs were sort of sitting as lobs, and now shags are moving from here up to sort of collarbone, being able to give you a bit more texture in there. But when you go shorter with the shags, you can get you could hold a bit more density around the perimeter, so they look a bit fuller. Because when you start layering through here, you end up losing that density, depending on how thick your hair is naturally. End up losing that sort of thickness down the bottom. But if we take those shags shorter, get that out, then we're going to maintain more of that strength. And Billie Eilish, you've seen her go from the green and black to a long shag, and now sitting here she has got a short shag. So that's a big trend for 2022. Big trend number 3 for 2022 is the complete opposite to what I've just spoken about with those two. It's long locks. So extensions, or if you've got long hair, it is going to still be on trend. And I think the thing with trends nowadays is what suits people, what suits their lifestyle. And if you can maintain and manage long hair, making it look fuller, sort of sexy, being able to wear it down, wear it up, curl it, then it's going to be a big trend. And looking in the salon, we've had so many people wanting extensions towards the end of the year, that I can see how 2022 is going to be something for longer locks as well. So just keeping that real fullness. And you've got Cardi B here, and you know what she's got. She's got that really long hair, chopping and changing between wigs as they do. But long locks is a trend which is going to be going big for 2022. Number 4, it wouldn't be looking at trends if it wasn't looking for fringes as well. So Camila Cabello, just here, she has got the wispy bangs, the wispy fringe, so nothing too heavy. You've got that softness, which I suppose is coming from that sort of shag wolf cut sort of look, where you've got all this texture running through here. Still a big trend, still something to go to your hairdresser about. If you've always had a blunt fringe, side fringe, never had a fringe, something to really sort of wet your toe and have something a little bit different framing your face. It's all about sort of framing your face, and fringes do that incredibly. Another trend which isn't so much about hair cutting or anything like that, it's more about styling, but trendy tendrils. And that is adding little braids, little accents in there, little hair piercings that used to be about sort of like 10 years ago, possibly, maybe a little bit earlier. But just having these trendy pieces just running through to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of crimping in there, but looking at changing up little pieces of your hair rather than sort of curling it all, crimping it all, wearing it all smooth. It's about having just little pieces coming off. You think of like a bit of like an octopus, how its sort of legs are doing all of this. But a tendril, that could just be a braid, and we can just sort of accent that. So that's another big trend for 2022. Trend number 6, and that is the 70s shag, which is that rock star looking sort of hair. Big, bouncy, textured, lived in, nothing really too styled. Halle Berry here is rocking it incredibly, but something just really lived in. I think the 70s shag, opposed to like the 80s and what was happening recently with trends right now, people want them a little bit more styled, maybe a little bit more mechanically textured. But I think, yeah, this has obviously been styled, but I think just wearing it sort of lived in is going to be a big trend with the 70s, because the 70s, no heated appliances really. when it came to like the technology of straighteners. We had hair dryers and perming and rollers and that, but I think with tongs, and you go right back and there probably was tongs, and I remember seeing something like a tong used to heat up on the fire, and then you would curl your hair with it. I mean, that must have been scary. There must have been a lot of hair lost with using those kind of heated tools, but they've been about for years. But the 70s shag was all about texture, big hair, rock star hair, and it's going to be a big trend still with us for 2022. So when I was talking about Camila Cabello, about the sort of something framing your face, there's no one better that does it than J-Lo. So J-Lo has got these face framing layers that are just sort of cascading around her face, and I think she just pulls it off so well. Her hairdresser, Chris Appleton, local lad, Leicester lad, has made it over in LA with the Kardashians, J-Lo, Dua Lipa, Rita Ora, I think was his first sort of big celeb client. So yeah, he's doing unbelievable work looking after J-Lo's hair. He did her hair for the Super Bowl. But yeah, he's absolutely killing it. And adding these face framing layers around your face is something to go and talk to your stylist about. Will it suit you? Face shape plays a massive part in it. So if you've got a long face, like squat face, round face, square face, oval, speak to your stylist, because all you've got to think, this is a tip, when you're looking at framing your face with colour, cuts or styling, all you want to be doing is, and they say the perfect face shape is oval, but say you've got like a square shape, face shape, or a rounded face shape, all you've got to be doing is either extending corners to make it look a bit longer through here. If it was round, you want to close in through here, so you've got that silhouette. If you've got a squarer face, you want to be cutting off these corners here, so framing through here, exposing a little bit more. So that could be like where it's styled, the curl sort of kicks out. How J-Lo's is there, just flick it out, that could flick out there, and you could have something sort of coming a little bit tighter into there. But yeah, there's something, face framing layers will suit everybody, but just speak to your stylist, because they'll be able to offer you some really good advice. So trend number 8, and we're getting into a little bit of colour, and that's the chunky highlights, the chunky placement of colour. And it's something that we're seeing creep into the salon now, where people are wanting the definitive technique or the definitive placement of colour when it comes to placing those individual colours. It could be copper dark, red dark, red blonde, blonde dark. It could be anything like that, but as long as there's that chunkiness to it. And Addison Rae here is rocking it. You can still see at the root it's still soft on Addison, but you've got a lot of that texture running all the way through the hair, and that's what it's there for. It's there to give you that texture. You don't want to be going right back to the 90s where you've got these stripes running through your parting as such, but you want to just add that little bit of modern twist to it, where you can just soften pieces off but still have that definitive sectioning and technique in there. Number 9, and another colour trend, and it's shadow roots. Shadow roots is going nowhere. It's a really low maintenance colour technique that we are able to bring to you. And with Joico right now, we've just launched Lumi 10, and we can do shadow roots and tone in 10 minutes. So if you're looking like Beyonce here, you want your shadow roots doing and you want your ends toned, we can literally do it in salon in 10 minutes. So I did it for a live last week, and it is just an absolute game changer when it comes to colouring hair. So with a big trend like shadow roots coming back, if you want to hit up your Joico salon and get booked in for a shadow root, bang on trend, tint and tone in 10 minutes, then comment down below and I will point you in the direction for your Joico salon that is going to be doing tint and tone in 10 minutes, because you're going to be bang on trend and leaving the salon within the hour. Trend number 10, and that is deep browns. So we've been looking at platinums and real sort of vibrant colours for a while, and they're still big. Like I did a video recently, and blondes are exploding because people are just wanting that super cool, super icy blondes, super clean looking blondes. But a big trend that never really gets spoken about are these deep rich browns or brunettes, and we can see here really rich. And then through here, you've got some sort of like cascading browns, which are a little bit lighter, but giving you that texture, giving you that balance, and being able to see the layering or the smoothness in the hair. Those lighter pieces will act as if the hair is always shining, and that's something to really make the hair look expensive. When you've got a really expensive looking hair colour, it should always look really rich, really vibrant, really shiny. And the way that you do that is by adding these little accents of lightness within there, because that makes it look as if the sun's always sort of glistening off your hair. So yeah, big trend. Big trend is those deep, rich, full browns. Trend number 11, and that is rich and vibrant reds. So we're looking at this radiant red, and this is Megan Thee Stallion, and that red is unbelievable. And when you're looking at reds, you're looking at fading quicker than brunettes and that sort of colour, because it's very much a vivid colour. But speak to your stylist, see what brand they use. And I know I do work for Joico, and I know I'm very brand heavy Joico, but it's only because it's a brand that I trust and I love, and I know that it will give me the colours that I want. And we've launched 2 years ago, was it? Powerhouse reds. So having a mix of the red reds, the red violets, the red coppers, when you're looking at going for a really radiant red, that you want it to radiate sort of like health and shine, like I was talking about the browns. So a way of doing that is adding like accents of copper in there. That will make it really sort of glow. But if you're more on the sort of cooler side, skin tone, eye colour, where we're looking at, right, you can't support the sort of the glowiness of a red, but if you would look banging with a cooler red, and people always say a cooler red, how do you get a cooler red? And that's with a little accent of the violet in there. So the red violet would probably suit you more than the sort of glowing copper reds. So that's something to speak to a stylist about as well. Good consultation, really understanding where you want to go with it. And there are times where people, if they sort of, when it starts to warm off, they're like, oh, like they loved it when it was first done, really rich, really vibrant and red. But as it warms off, they tend to hate it. And that's where we need to be adding that little bit of violet in there to stop that from happening. And the last trend, but I have got one to give you a bonus one at the end of the video. So the last trend is voluminous curls. And whether it's permed, whether it's styled, whether it's natural, it's just bang on trend. And perms have been sort of creeping back into the salons. We do a hell of a lot of them on women and on guys. And being able to give people that texture, that fullness, that voluminous sort of look, but there's a lot of aftercare with it. So when it comes to curly hair, it's often drier, and if it's mechanically put in or chemically put in, you're going to be losing moisture and everything within the hair anyway, because you're changing the structure of the hair. So you need to be really investing in good aftercare, shampoos, conditioners for curly hair, for moisture, something quite lightweight so it doesn't weigh it down, get that sort of lift, heat protection, deep reconstructive masks. So these are all things that you really need to use if you're on the curlier side, as well as if you're on the any side of really, you need to be using a good aftercare. But when it comes to curly hair, because it's drier, we need to be adding and packing in that moisture to make sure it looks really healthy and shiny. So the bonus one is that the shaved heads are coming back for women. Guys, the sort of military-esque haircuts, the buzz cuts, have been a thing, and I think the crop has been a big influence of this for guys. They've been taken off the length and wearing something really quite precise. Skin fades, not so much anymore. Guys are growing their hair out, so it's a bit longer, but the buzz cuts are definitely a big trend. If you're not wanting to wear it longer, but you don't want a skin fade anymore, just that short, tight crop is something massive for guys. But for women, the skinhead is going to be huge for 2022. So if you're thinking of rocking any of these trends, let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It's great to have you here, and I'll be bringing you plenty more videos very soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.